Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives.
Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson, and this is our Daily Gratitude Call. I appreciate everybody being on the call today. We did a few rounds of gratitude before I started the recording, and it seems like several people were dropping off and we're not able to hear and stuff, so hopefully all of those technical difficulties have been done and gone by the time we started the recording. So hopefully we won't have any, I'm going to have a strong intention that we're just going to have a perfect call and everything will work perfectly. For today, we're going to do a 90-second meditation, and several of the things that were mentioned before we started the recording had to do with family and friends and helping hands, family helping. One of our callers said that her boys painted cheerfully 3 rooms in her house and finished that project, and that's awesome in itself. Lots of those things, getting all that painting done cheerfully, and her son's doing that. That was, I just think what a celebration and success that must have been. And just lots of really good, and unity, I think, was another thing that was shared, the closeness of my daughters. So I feel like that, and I'm just going to call it helping hands. We're going to do that. So 90 seconds, we're going to focus on gratitude for helping hands. I think actually when that was shared, that was about the Holy Ghost and God guiding us and helping hands. So there's a lot of different ways that we can see that we've had helping hands in our life, or maybe we've been the helping hands. So I think that'll be a fun meditation for us that might go in lots of different directions. So 90 seconds, just focusing silently on gratitude for helping hands, and just write down whatever comes to you. Begin. All right. I was born in the 60s, and the thought that came to me is how things have changed, over these decades with regard to like roles of men and women. And I remember, my mom, and even on TV, that only women were allowed in the kitchen. It was like the moms and maybe the daughters were allowed in the kitchen. And now I rely so much on helping hands in the kitchen. If we have a get-together with family or friends, I've done a lot of entertaining over the years, and when I entertain, when people come, they help. I ask people to set the table or cut up some vegetables or whatever, and the reason why I do it, I don't do it because I don't want to do it myself or whatever. It creates a feeling of unity. It involves people, and at the same time, it helps us get the dinner on the table all, everything all complete at the same time, so everything's hot or done or whatever, so we can sit down, when everything's done. And I'm really good at, the word that came to me is ordering people around. I'm really good at delegating tasks and just kind of figuring out in my head. It's almost like an automatic thing. I think because I grew up in a family of 7 kids, that there's always, something that somebody can do to help, so that it all comes together beautifully at the end. So that's what I see Helping Hands is everybody working together so that all comes together really perfectly at the end. Who else would like to share?
I would. In the same vein, Helping Hands, to me, they soothe our fears, like being in my great-grandma's rocking chair, sitting in her lap, and she would stroke my arm. Loved
Beautiful.
and wanted and cared for. And if I was afraid of anything, all those fears seemed to melt away. And they lift us up, and they brush us off, and they love us, and they help us, and they assist us without doing it for us, and they heal us, and they give tenderness and compassion to us, and they teach us, and we can use them to help others and to lift others up. And it's just, to me, such a wonderful feeling to have hands that are not just ours, but hands that we have used upon us and hands that we give to others. Hands are beautiful.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. I really appreciate you. And again, that's why I love this call, because everybody comes up with something different and just really helps me to focus on the hands part of that. And wow, what you were sharing about how hands can be a soft, gentle healing. Also, I know a lot of times hands are used on a negative, in abuse. And then I also thought of my dad's hands. I would sit in church and look at his hands, and they were so calloused and rough. He worked with wood and was just, his hands were so strong and calloused. And then, in comparison, having, a grandma's hands that are super soft and gentle. Thank you. Who else would like to share?
Yesterday, when I was working through a treatment, I realized that I have a limiting belief, and so that's what came up for me was my limiting belief in when I receive helping hands, I need to reciprocate monetarily, or it's not in alignment. But I think that is a false belief, because other people gain when they serve and when they help me, just like when they serve and gain from other people. And so that's a blessing to them. And so sometimes helping just to serve is the payment. And so I'm still working through that. But I just thought that someone else might have some of those limiting beliefs as well.
Beautiful, thank you. We're those who have pre-ordered my book. I gave them a bonus program of the Practical Guide Through the Gateway of Faith, and it was just like a gift that I gave to them to help them get through the gateway of faith and kind of create a pattern for them to be able to move on to the next gateways and beyond if they, were not choosing to work with me privately on that. And the second gateway is the gateway of abundance, and that's one of the things that we teach in that's in the book that I teach, is that in abundance there does need to be a reciprocation. That when we give, that we're creating space to receive. And then also part of the giving is that we should only be giving in a way that we're immediately receiving. So, in our purpose, so that it's fueling us. If it's fueling our passion, then we're already receiving, we're already getting paid. So there definitely is some truth, a lot of truth in what you're saying. And there also could be a counterfeit of, that I have to, that my gift is so sacred that I can't charge for it or something like that. So, there's counterfeits and there's truth involved in that, and I think you're smart to be investigating these limiting beliefs and finding what the absolute truth is for you. And that bonus program that I gave, that's an example of something I knew that they would get more out of the program or out of the book if I gifted this program to them, if everybody had access to it. So, yeah, definitely. And that pays me because I want to make sure they get the most out of the book. Thank you.
I'd like to share something real quick. I'm just grateful for the people who showed up to help us load our truck, and for my son who helped. So, and it was mentioned earlier, I think by, I don't know, Crystal maybe, but that my son cheerfully helped me clean, and that's a big job. And I'm also grateful for the helping hands that volunteers give for nonprofits, especially, the nonprofit I've started. And I can't pay anybody right now initially. And there's no payment, and there may never be. So there's I know plenty of nonprofits who they run by volunteers. They don't even get paid. It's all volunteer work, and that helping hand makes it work.
Yeah, I think when there's a cause that is stirring to the soul, then people do cheerfully help and not expect payment. In fact, even if you offered payment to them, they wouldn't accept it, I think, because they're being paid by being part of creating something. Even your son's cheerfully helping loading up the truck and cleaning, that there was a cause behind that the move is more easy and yeah. So
I think even bigger than that was there are all these people who came to help. They were so cheerful, and they didn't expect anything in return, and we had some pretty amazing help.
Awesome. Thank you. Martha.
Yeah, I want to be grateful for the opportunity that I have next week to go to see my partners and have them pray over me so that perhaps, I can awaken to my call, my ministry call. But I must say, everything in me that is my flesh says, no, we're not going to go, forget about it. After all, you didn't pay anything anyway, because I'm actually traveling, through mileage, right? All I'm paying is $11, which is a blessing all by itself. But I realize I'm dealing with my flesh, and my flesh is not interested in me stepping into that leadership role where God can use me for His glory. Mm-hmm. So I'm just dealing with that. I just want to acknowledge that that's what I'm dealing with. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's nice that you have those helping hands, those partners that you're talking about to be able to help you.
Yeah, I actually send them, what I'm dealing with, and I say, just keep me in prayer so I can make it there, because right now I was like, I don't even see myself being there, even though it's a call. So, yeah, thank you.
Beautiful, thank you.
My turn. It's Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Hi. I just was really thinking about this because we got a call the other day, and there's some people in our area that they're just like, let's put a group together and come and help you do some yard work. And it's just the negative beliefs that come up about, well, I'm going to have to feed them, or I don't know, but and what are we going to have them do? And I think it's really hard to receive that, but I am really grateful that they're offering, but then just, what do we need to have them do? And the other thing that came up for me is, and I'm just working through this, is that while I'm watching them do yard work or whatever, I'm feeling lazy, like I should be able to keep up on this. And so there's just a lot of stuff that's coming up. I mean, I am really grateful for the offer. I'm grateful that there's people that are willing to come and help. But there's just a lot of, we've never had to do this before, so I don't know what we're going to do there's just a lot. So I'm grateful, and yet I know there's a mixed blessing, and I've got some things that I get to work through.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that, Kathy, because I know there are probably other people on the call and those that are listening on the recording that have experienced that too. That it's like super grateful for the helping hands, but it's hard to receive because you offered that I do yard work. Does that mean that you think my yard's bad? Like I need it, or I'm feeling lazy because I'm not helping, or I totally.
Well, and it's just really hard for my husband not to be able to do that. I mean, even we did the watering last night, and that's things that he enjoys doing, and so is he going to enjoy watching other people do what he can't do? So
yeah, awesome. I think this is a great opportunity for us to shift over to the permission process, because there are a lot of different aspects of helping hands where we might get triggered in some way. So let's go ahead and find out what those are. I'm going to invite you all to just take a deep breath and double check your phone, make sure you're muted. And first of all, just expressing gratitude for all the helping hands around us, and how we can't really, be the best that we can be. We can't all rise as high unless we do have helping hands. So grateful for those helping hands that we have. And then also being open to know, what is the limiting belief that we have about giving or receiving, being the helping hands or receiving help? What is the limiting belief coming up for you today? And as you look at that limiting belief, I invite you to examine the cost of it. What if you keep that limiting belief? What is the consequence? And as you really examine this limiting belief and see what the cost and the consequences of holding on to it, you have a choice right now. You can keep that limiting belief, or you can give yourself permission to choose something different. And if you're ready to choose a new belief that will create a different outcome, just say yes.
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 All right. So now it's time to choose some new beliefs. What are some new beliefs that will take the place of that old limiting belief and will allow you to move forward with new understanding and new perspective on helping hands? And as you look over these new beliefs, I invite you to really see the truth of them, feel the truth of them. Take a moment and just breathe these beliefs these new beliefs into your very soul, and just put them into your heart and test them. Are these true? And if they feel true to you, then I invite you to make the choice right now to keep them there, to keep them in your heart, to keep testing them out, to act on these new beliefs and begin seeing the evidence as it shows up, the evidence of the truth of these new beliefs. So right now I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, take another deep breath. And as you see yourself moving forward with these new beliefs, what is the one most important thing that you could do today to really anchor in and give evidence to the truth of these new beliefs? What is the most important thing that you could do today that for you would really prove that these new beliefs are true? All right. And as we are at the end of our time, I really appreciate everything that has been shared today. I invite you all to go to the Breakthrough with Gratitude Facebook group and write the thoughts that you had, the breakthrough that you had today, your permission process, your new beliefs, whatever it is that you feel that you'd like to share. I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but I feel like I've got a little more work to do. My limiting belief was had many facets to it. And so I'm going to be sitting here doing a little bit more processing on my own. And if you are in that space, I encourage you to do that. If you are in a space where you need an outsider's perspective and maybe a little bit more insight into how you can let this limiting belief go and fully step into these new beliefs, or maybe whatever it is, maybe you're still struggling with this helping hands idea of others helping you or you helping others in the way that is most beneficial to you, that pays you immediately. It's like we were talking about that gateway of abundance. And if you're in that space where you need that extra support, you can reach out to me. AskWileen.com will take you directly to my calendar, and you'll get a 15-minute time slot there. And so I'd love to talk to you for 15 minutes and just give you a slightly different take on maybe what you've already been able to figure out from this permission process. So thank you all for being on the call today. Today's Friday, and so we won't be here Saturday and Sunday. I encourage you to continue your gratitude practice throughout the weekend and continue doing your daily GPS. And then we'll be coming back together on Monday morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time, and look forward to talking to you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening, and I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. We'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.